Arriving in Avignon a day early, we stayed in a hotel just off the Central Plaza, a perfect location for exploring the city.
Je revois la ville en fête et en délire, suffoquant sous le soleil et sous la joie. Et j'entends dans la musique les cris, les rires qui éclatent et rebondissent.
The theater has been under renovation since 2016.
Étourdi, désemparé, je reste là. Quand soudain je me retrouve.
From its namesake square, the clock is almost hidden. Better views are nearby. Pope Clement V moved his administration to Avignon in 1309. The popes resided here until 1403. All furnishings were either moved back to Rome with the Pope's return to Italy or destroyed in the French Revolution. From the Napoleonic age to 1906, the palace was used as a troop barracks. The church, adjacent to the palace, is halfway up a steep hill that is the site of a quiet park overlooking the Rhône River. The far end of the bridge was destroyed by a flood in 1668. These modern buildings are low-cost apartments. Walking the streets presents one with striking contrasts of old and new. The church's doors were carved in 1551. We continued our walk, accompanied by a school group, along the street of the Dyers, the center of the city's textile industry in the 1800s. The small canal, one of many, turned these water wheels to power the factories. We boarded the Heimdall, explored the ship for a bit, and then it was time for lunch. A port talk was given most evenings before dinner, with a variety of entertainment afterwards.
J'ai bien trop à faire pour pouvoir rêver. Et dans ce décor banal à pleurer, il me semble encore les voir arriver.
Our excursion to see one of the marvels of Roman engineering started in the well-designed museum which explained its construction. Some 30 miles long, the aqueduct supplied Nîmes with drinking water. For our visit to Arles, the Heimdall docked upriver about 20 minutes away. The walking tour gave a good overview of the city center, along with sites related to Van Gogh's time in the city and the Roman era. The Roman arena still is in use today for non-violent bull games and the occasional Spanish bullfight. For some 500 years, as many as 10,000 Romans gathered here to watch varied performances.
Yes, also all along the...
After lunch, we walked down to the nearby castle. Built as the seat of the Dukes of Anjou and the Counts of Provence, it is unchanged since its completion in 1434. It also served as a jail from 1411 until 1926. Since 2009, it has housed an art collection. This is an interpretation of the legendary Dragon of the Rhône. A short stroll past this campground took us back to the ship.
Just see the Fleur-de-Lys, which is France, and then you can see...
Another day, another port. The street leading from the river into town is lined with beautiful plane trees. Sadly, many of them are being killed by a fungus. This smallest city in France, with only about 4,000 inhabitants, has one of the finest depictions of this French icon.
And each one of these nails are individually made, and this is what's given it such a lot of strength. And this goes up to a spiral stairway up to the top of the building.
A climb up to the cathedral, France's smallest active one, also gave us splendid views of the surrounding countryside. We returned to the ship in time for lunch and an afternoon of scenic sailing.
The Bergen, we went to Bergen.
A rather gloomy and misty day greeted us for our short tour around Tournon. The local cardinal established this school as a college. It became secular in 1820 and then was transformed into a high school in 1848. Leaving the city, we bussed up to take a ride on a steam railway. The locomotives date to the late 1800s when the route was inaugurated. It served as the only connection between the city and the small villages along its route, except for horses or mules. We only covered about half of the full route, and then rode back after the engine made its turnaround. In the afternoon, a short cruise upriver brought us to this lovely town. Churches and Roman ruins. No town in France is without them, it seems. A street fair was being held that day. The streets full of people celebrating. We had 2 days in Lyon, starting with an orientation atop Viviers Hill. One of the most fascinating experiences was walking through some of the once secret passageways used as shortcuts between streets. These triboules first appeared in the 4th century, allowing easier access to the river for water. During World War II, the resistance used them to hold meetings. We even found one to explore by ourselves. Silk production was established here in 1466 by King Louis XI, and King Francois I granted the city a monopoly in 1540. Lyon soon was the European capital of silk. There were several very fine artworks on sale at a street fair along the river. Our second day was filled with 2 tours. In the morning, we visited the Beaujolais wine country. A quick stop en route in this small town was made for those of us needing a convenience and for all of us to stretch our legs. The processing and fermentation process used here was carefully explained. It is somewhat different in detail from that at other wineries we have visited. Besides wine production, part of the chateau has been converted to host events. The old barns hold a variety of leftover objects. Back in Lyon, the afternoon was filled with sampling various local food and drinks. At a bistro, we tried some wine and charcuterie.
Il portait des culottes, des bottes de moto, un blouson de cuir noir avec un aigle sur le dos, sa moto qui partait comme un boulet de...
Then some chocolate. It really was superb, and we brought some home.
Jamais il ne se coiffait, jamais il ne se lavait. Les ongles pleins de cambouis, mais sur le biceps il avait un tatouage avec un cœur bleu sur la peau blême. Et juste à l'intérieur, on lisait Maman je t'aime. Il avait une petite amie du nom de Marilou. On la prenait en pitié.
A bit of praline brioche was served at the Abbey Hotel. And finally, a sampling of cheese, with wine, of course.
Un blouson de cuir noir avec un aigle sur le dos, sa moto qui partait comme un boulet de canon, semait la terreur dans toute la région. Marilou, la pauvre fille, l'implora, le supplia. Tu ne pars pas ce soir, je vais pleurer si tu t'en vas. Mais les mots...
Back at the ship, a volleyball game was in progress while the Heimdall got a cleaning.
Il bondit comme un diable avec des flammes dans les yeux. Au passage à niveau, ce fut comme un éclair de feu contre une locomotive qui fuyait vers le midi. Et quand on débarrassa les débris,